You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
If you only had one shot, one opportunity, would you capture it or just let it slip? That's the opportunity ahead for so many players in the preseason. Yes, preseason can matter. And there's some primetime preseason action coming up this weekend, and we are hyper-focused on, you guessed it, the quarterback position. An opening in Cleveland for Shedeur Sanders to slide in and be the man. Other teams trying to make the decision, A, B, or C. Anthony Richardson, can he hold off Daniel Jones? The backup battles, which will matter when you look at the amount of starting quarterbacks that will play this season due to injuries, and the number 1 overall pick locked in for every game in the preseason. What it do? Happy hump day, everyone. Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. Zay Johnson behind the glass, Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks. JJ Buck with you this morning. Stoked for what we have on deck. Coming up, 7:30. Brian Urlacher was in town. He spoke with the media yesterday. You're going to hear what he had to say about Lobo football, his message to the team, and connecting with new head coach Jason X. So we got Brian Urlacher comments coming up at 7:30. 8:30 this morning, former NFL executive, 3-time Super Bowl champion Michael Lombardi is going to join us. His book, Football Done Right, re-releasing in paperback. But Lombardi has takes for days. He worked with Bill Belichick in New England. He's working with Bill Belichick right now as the general manager for the North Carolina Tar Heels football team. Lombardi is going to join us at 8:30. We're going to talk about his book, but then hit him with the major topics of the day. I got Jerry Jones questions for Lombardi, who knows about building rosters and working in championship situations. So we're really looking forward to that. 9 o'clock one of the preseason picks, or all-conference selection for Lobo football. Their cornerback, Abraham Williams, will join us. Now, he's a preseason selection as a kick returner. He's one of the best athletes on the team. He got some national recognition this week for being one of the best athletes in college football. But I discussed with him not just what makes a good kick returner, about the challenges and his focus of trying to step up and be the best cornerback on this team, one of the best defenders for Lobo football. That, as we are just talking about, opportunity is there for playmakers to emerge. And, of course, you can get involved all morning long, 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Caught a lot of people by surprise, but then you take a step back and you look at the situation and say, oh, okay, I understand that. But preseason primetime, and the Cleveland Browns are expected to start Shedeur Sanders Friday night against the Carolina Panthers. Now you look, Kenny Pickett, hamstring. Dylan Gabriel dealing with a little bit of a hamstring. You know Joe Flacco is going to get nowhere near the field in the preseason. So Flacco is still the front runner. They brought in Tyler Huntley to be a camp body. But this is an opportunity. It just takes one moment. This could vault Shedeur Sanders from a dude that was essentially QB4 to QB2. That's the opening. Now, Kenny Pickett is the veteran in the room outside of Joe Flacco. A lot of buzz for Kenny early on. But this is your chance. This is your moment to go out there. And this is when preseason matters for young quarterbacks, for players trying to make the roster. And Shedeur Sanders went from, there's a reason he's a fifth-round pick, man. There's a reason he's QB4 to, here you go. And say this is all you want is your opportunity.
Yeah.
And the door is wide open for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, moments like this is why, and this is why Shedeur, you never saw him really waver during this process. It's because his dad is a professional football player, or was a professional football player, so he understands the mindset you need to be in. Although Deion never was in this situation, Shedeur understood that if he would have been listening to the noise and been upset and angry that he was listed fourth in the depth chart, because that just came out, like a day before they announced this. So, the news is, Shedeur's fourth in the depth chart. He's fourth in the depth chart. It's really, really hard for someone who believes they're good enough to be the starter to see that. Like, it's one thing to hear that you might not get as many reps, but when they put out the official depth chart and you're looking at your name behind other people's, it really is a tough pill to swallow. So for Shedeur, I think that he's been in the right mindset this whole time. And honestly, if I'm the Browns, Shedeur's never going to resign. Okay, let me not jump ahead. But as soon as that owner comes out and is like, yeah, it wasn't my idea to pick Shedeur. He's one of those guys, he remembers everything. I'd be very surprised if he ever re-signed with Cleveland. So if he balls out, I think, look, trade him. Get some back for him now, because he's probably going to leave them for nothing as soon as he
At some point in time, you got to get over yourself with that. Like, if you ball out your starting quarterback, they offer you $250 million, you're going to leave.
Professional,
okay, man.
Yeah, 100%. Professional athletes remember stuff like that.
Not when you get guaranteed money.
I think if Shedeur balls out and he's going to get guaranteed money from Cleveland, he could get the same money from another team. If not, he might get a little less.
Well, then he can wait, because you can franchise tag this dude multiple seasons. Like, this is what we're back to with Shedeur. It's everyone else but him. He's going to hold the grudge. He's 100%. The dude that's the best thing since sliced bread and shouldn't have slipped to the fifth round.
He definitely should hold the grudge. If he's a competitor, which I know he is, he's going to hold the grudge, because sometimes you need those things to elevate to the next level. If Tom Brady didn't hold the grudge, he wouldn't have been Tom Brady.
Fair. Tom Brady just didn't leave New England.
But he also wasn't projected to be, he wasn't a top 5 Heisman pick that went 5th round. And the owner.
Heisman does not mean anything when it comes to the NFL.
The owner coming out and saying, yeah, it wasn't my idea to pick him, 100% means something to an athlete.
I agree with you with that, the chip on your shoulder. But we're already looking ahead like he's going to be good enough to say no to the Cleveland Browns.
That's what I say. If he goes out here and balls out, like if Shedeur starts panning out in this preseason, they've put all this stock in all these other quarterbacks. It puts them in a weird position where it's either do you go the route that you originally bought into so heavy when you barely picked him, or do you now have to start this guy and swallow the pill that you made?
Well, I got a question for you, Zay, with this. Is he not mad at all the other teams that passed on him?
I'm sure he is.
But he'd go sign with one of those teams.
I think, yes, he'd rather be another team than Cleveland Browns.
I'm not.
Like that also has a factor. The fact that it's Cleveland Browns. I mean, how many quarterbacks want to be there? So that's already he's already. I would assume his foot is reaching towards the door just because of that. I mean, he'd be the first quarterback.
You got to show me he deserves to walk through a door somewhere else before you're reaching for the door out of Cleveland.
Well, yeah, that's what we're speaking about. Is if he goes in this first preseason game and balls out, and then say Dylan Gabriel comes back healthy, plays decent. I mean, you can't just have two quarterbacks with value is okay, but you can't just have 3 or 4 quarterbacks with value.
And yeah, this could be the absolute lottery for Cleveland. And say what you want about the owner, saying, well, it wasn't my pick. Well, the team picked him, whether it was first round or 5th round. And this could absolutely be the lottery ticket that Cleveland's been looking for. If Shedeur Sanders is that dude, I think Shedeur can be a fine quarterback, and that opens the door. As you were just saying, you step through that, and you can be a really good quarterback. But everyone's looking for a Tom Brady, and those are few and far between. But here's the opportunity. Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. He wasn't a starting quarterback. He didn't hold a grudge against Patriots. He held against everyone else. Yeah. He went out there and balled. And I think that for Shedeur Sanders is what you just laid out. I don't have a problem with Shedeur at all. Like, I think he's handled himself very well. I think he was humbled a little bit on the draft day, which is fine. He can go out there and prove the NFL that, I am one of these dudes, and I can be a consistent starter. And the doors open differently for everyone else. It was Drew Bledsoe getting hurt, and then Tom Brady steps up. He can go back to Trent Green getting hurt, and Kurt Warner steps in and becomes that dude with the St. Louis Rams and win a Super Bowl. So the opportunities, you never know when they're going to come. But, man, this is a door wide open. I do think Shedeur passes Dylan Gabriel right now, even though Dylan Gabriel's been getting the snaps. And I think that he has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, Gabriel. He's going to have to lose that job, probably, Gabriel. Which, I mean, not saying that he won't. I mean, it could very well happen. He'd have to lose that job. Also, I think you also want to factor in maybe, like, there's some teams who they've got their quarterback situation right now. So it's like you maybe didn't expect them to look that way. But I think there's certain teams, maybe teams like, if I was Shedeur, which I'm not, if I was Shedeur, I would be offended by New York, Cleveland, and the Steelers. And New Orleans. Yes, because it's like, who did you guys have in replacement that made you comfortable passing on me? Versus someone
which New York team are you discussing?
The Giants.
They drafted Jackson Dart.
Well, yeah, instead
of first round, yeah.
So of course, you take somebody else over a guy in your draft class, you got to take that personal. And not say taking this personal in a bad way. I mean,
you got to be motivated, man.
Yeah, you got to find things. You got to find things, and sometimes when you find those things and you buy into them so much, it actually does affect your decision making. So,
and I'm fascinated by this because the path is different for everyone, and this door kind of came out of nowhere for Shedeur Sanders, and he gets an opportunity, and this is huge because is he going to start over Joe Flacco? You never know. He absolutely could go out there and just be like, all right, you're seeing the things you want to see. He's making the throws. He's making the plays inside and outside the pocket. He's locked in, and he could prove everyone wrong. And the chip on the shoulder, absolutely, that should be there. It's competitors. It's confidence. I think, sometimes with Shedeur, we get a little bit crazy when you're already saying, well, he's going to be so good that he can walk away from Cleveland.
If he is, right? But, like, if, say, you're a GM, right, and you draft a quarterback 5th round after you've already drafted another one, signed Joe Flacco, and then you just, I don't think this Tyler Huntley guy, they're expecting him to pan out. But let's just say first preseason.
No, he's just a veteran camp arm now.
Mm-hmm. So let's say Shedeur goes out, throws for 350, 3 touchdowns. Like, the trade value for him is now probably doubled. So if you're the GM, you're start asking yourself, like, okay, do we want to keep this guy and hope that he really pans out, or do we want to take advantage of this and get something that we might need in another position because we've already got 10,000 quarterbacks?
Well, if Shadeur's balling out,
you got to start looking at that. Like,
it's then, all right, does this translate to the regular season? You let him play. You see if you win the lottery with Shedeur Sanders, because Joe Flacco is there just to compete. Like, Joe Flacco's the guy that even at 40 years old has his moments. There's a reason so many of these veterans do stick around and get these opportunities. Now, if you go out there and show you can handle it enough and provide a higher ceiling, to me, I'm not looking at it as, oh, this is a trade value. No, this would be Cleveland going, oh, you know what? We found something. And this is the guy. He might have had a rough draft process. He might have turned a lot of people off. But there is something there with Shedeur Sanders as an NFL quarterback. And his opportunity is Friday night against the Carolina Panthers. And that is the biggest storyline of the quarterback battles. You mentioned New Orleans and their 26-year-old rookie quarterback, second-round pick Tyler Shuck, in a three-way battle for the quarterback position. Anthony Richardson has to start for the Colts. At this point in time, it feels like you have to play the dude to see what he has, because you know Daniel Jones is there. The backup battles, but the biggest opportunity, the biggest wow factor when it comes to preseason quarterback play, well, it's Cleveland getting a look at Shedeur Sanders. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. So it does matter. And preseason football has some big-time battles, and it gets going this weekend in full force. We'll be looking at the Browns and Panthers for Shedeur Sanders, the other quarterback battles. But the question is not if, but when. The standoff in Dallas continues, and you know what? Jerry Jones, he wants urgency, and he keeps talking about it. What will Micah Parsons do when it comes to the standoff in Dallas? It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's Part Sports.
We have football on.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Show up and show out. Prove people wrong. The doubters, the haters. All right. You don't want me slid to the 5th round? Well, Shador Sanders has an opportunity. The opportunity was capitalized on by this player. And yet, he's uncertain, according to his owner, to play week 1. What it do? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610. The Sports Animal, JJ Buck. Zay back, ready to go, locked in, laser focused.
Yeah. Definitely laser focused.
Big day ahead. The huge day. Appreciate you hanging out this morning. And looking ahead to preseason and QB2s and Shador Sanders. Well, guess what? One of the best defensive players in the NFL, uncertain. It's just going to be back and forth. And it's, all right, more of the same. We know the playbook. We know the pattern. But now it's urgent. Well, who has the urgency? Because it sure doesn't sound like anyone is pushing this forward. So Jerry Jones said yesterday he has not talked to Micah Parsons or his representation. Is that just stubborn, or is that the business side of this day?
It's a little stubborn, but I've got a pretty full take. I'm gonna wait.
And Jones confirmed that no one in the team's front office has had a conversation with Parsons' rep since Jones thought they had a verbal agreement with Parsons, and that's going all the way back to, what, March at this point in time?
Yeah, March, April.
So we know Micah Parsons, he's holding in. He's not participating in practice, but he's in meetings. He's talking with the defensive coaches. He's there, and he wants to play. He just wants his guaranteed contract. He wants all the money. However, Jerry Jones doesn't seem to be too inclined to continue these conversations. And Jones asked if he thought Micah Parsons would play week 1, said, quote, a big part of that is his decision. How would I know that? I'm just saying no. But I'm urgent. And he's just feeding the beast.
Yeah.
He's playing the game every day. But when, it's one thing to have the comments going back and forth, but when it's being reported that there's been no contact with the representation, not just from Jerry Jones, but anyone else, Stephen Jones.
Yeah.
And that's all Micah Parsons is saying, is that, hey, appreciate the conversation. Yeah, we might have had a framework. Talk to my guy about this.
So I think the biggest okay, so at first I was 100% on Micah's side, right? Mm-hmm. But now I am starting to lean more towards the middle because I think I understand what Jerry's saying, and I think I understand what happened here and how Micah is at fault. I think just right now, anybody who dares says that Micah's at any fault, it just seems like you're taking Jerry's side, so, you're going to get hammered for it. But I think what I'm putting the, Jerry's story and Micah's story together, what I'm pretty sure has happened here is Micah, as you know from the podcast, he does not hold his tongue. He's not scared to talk about anything. So I think right now that got him in a sticky situation because I think that he was so eager and he's one of those players. He likes to talk to Jerry like Jerry's one of his friends. And I think he got too comfortable, and I think he did verbally agree to something with Jerry. I think he then went back to his agent, and his agent was probably like, dude, what in the world are you doing? You got guys that are about to get paid. You need to wait so you can get more money. And Micah's whole thing is he's never just cared about the money. He's always said that he's willing to take a discount. So I think Micah was willing to take that discount, but then his agent's like, dude, no.
Who makes the final decision there, though?
That's,
when is Micah Parsons going to step up and say, all right, how long are we waiting for the next one when all these deals have gotten done?
I think that is what Micah is internally dealing with. I think he's angry because most owners might be like, okay, you wanted to wait and get paid more and maybe still. But I think Jerry's like, no, what do you mean? Like,
he still said, hey, no, you said this in March.
Yeah.
And this is where I want to be.
Yeah. And he's like, and that's what we're doing. So I think right now Mike is going to have, and it's going to be,
right? I think what you're getting at too is no one wants to look like
it's their
they
fault.
Folded.
Yes.
In this.
100%.
Jerry's like, no, you said this number back in March. That's what I'm going to give you. And then Parsons like, well, things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
So I don't know. I wonder if I bet internally Mike has gotten. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe his agent got irritated with him or he got irritated with his agent. But I think deep down Micah might not mind as much taking that original deal. But
But everyone's just trying to
he's too deep now.
Yeah, hold their chest out and say no.
Yeah.
You're not bullying me, man. It's gonna be my decision. 505-246-0610. Chad, on the opening drive. What's up, man?
Hey guys, just had plenty to say on this topic as a disgruntled Cowboys fan. Can we all agree at the very root of this is a very dysfunctional family from the top down?
Yes.
And now, can you all nod your heads and just say yes and agree? We'll start there. And I think the problem has gotten worse with Jerry Jones since 2 years ago when they got killed in the playoffs by the Packers. I think he took it so personally that I'm paying you guys all this money and this is what you showed me on the field. Oh, I'm not going to.
Spot on.
I'll show you going forward. I'm going to hold you to higher standards. I'm not going to give you this. And it's kind of being a petulant child versus moving on like the rest of us have had to try to do. And I think it's gotten worse. I am not going to compare. I know Jerry Jones has done this in the past. He did it with Emmitt Smith in '93 when he was holding out. He's done that. But he's going to the extreme here. Jerry knows better. He's a businessman. He's been at this for a game. Micah Parsons in his early 20s. Come on. He knows how the business works here. He's being unusually difficult. And as a Cowboys fan, I'm just going to say this. I hope Micah Parsons gets traded. I hope he goes somewhere else, and that the blood, that's something, the stain that Jerry Jones carries with him, and there's more of a lightning rod put on Jerry Jones the rest of the tenure, just so he can maybe move on and something else can happen, because I have zero faith in this dysfunctional family ever winning a Super Bowl again. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, Chad's not wrong. He's
I appreciate that call, Chad. And I think we've at moments pointed back to it, but that loss to the Packers cut Jerry Jones deep.
I mean, to his defense, he gets slammed. There's a lot of stuff he deserves to get slammed for, and the Cowboys do get overhyped a lot. But if you look at their rosters, there are a lot of seasons where it's like Jerry has put together a team that should go out on the field and compete. Like, Jerry doesn't play football, and he has put together a lot of very, very talented teams that did let him down. Now, did he control the coaching staff and everybody else who was there? Yeah. Did he control the in-season narratives? Yeah. But he's put some talent on the field, for sure.
And I think you look at, as Chad was saying, this is even a different level than some of the other conversations. He's really going back and forth with Michael Parsons. He's really holding his ground here versus, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. They were some frustration. They were extended. But you had a feeling like, all right, this is going to get done. And this one, when you start piecing it together, it does feel like this could absolutely last longer. This does feel like this is something that could linger into the season, and Michael Parsons might not be on the field week one because of no one wanting to fold in this situation. Jerry Jones being so dead set on, well, no, this is what we talked about in March, and I'm not changing my number. I don't care what happened with TJ Watt or Myles Garrett. This is what I'm going to offer you. And just everything that's built up, that Packers loss, but then going into the following year where, all right, you make Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in annual average value, and then he gets hurt. And he's mentioned that.
Yeah.
About paying guys and them not being available. So you have Jerry Jones, who does Jerry Jones things with all this on top of it, and it's been messier than the other ones we've seen.
What this seems like to me with Jerry, and this is why the Cowboy fans are irritated, this seems like that we all knew a guy at some point. He was just so confident that no girl would ever leave him, that he just did whatever he wanted in all his relationships until that one girl, usually in your early 20s, just breaks your heart, leaves you high and dry, or maybe in your late teens. And then from that point on, you just always, you're never too comfortable. Like, you never just think that you're too in the game. And I think right now with Jerry, Micah, at this point in Jerry's career, might be the first person to really do that to him if he was to leave. And I think that feeling is what Chad is saying he wants Jerry to feel. And I understand, but I don't know. We'll see.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and Text Line. Michael Lombardi, Super Bowl winning front office executive, author, and general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heels, is going to join us. We're going to talk about his book, Football Done Right, but I got some questions. It's about Jerry Jones and what Jerry has meant to the NFL, and, of course, his style of ownership and management. And we'll talk with Michael Lombardi coming up at 8:30. Coming up on the other side, Brian Urlacher was in town. He spoke with Global Football, and he spoke yesterday to the media. What do you have to say about what he wants to see from UNM and his connection with Jason Eck? That's coming up next. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience.
Lacker was excited to be back in town. A good vibe and good to see him. And what did he have to say? It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you, Adrian Holman down on ProView Networks. So Brian Urlacher spoke with the team the night before, was out at practice, giving some tips and hints to everyone, just observing and showcasing his presence and being someone that these players can look up to. And then he came over, spent a couple minutes talking with the media, and I asked him, all right, what is Lobo football? When these coaches reach out to you, and when you've had Danny Gonzalez, who knew Brian well, we had Bronco Mendenhall last year, of course now Jason Eck, the coaches over time since Brian Urlacher left. I asked him, what do you tell these coaches about Lobo football? Like, what does this program mean to you?
Well, for me, it was an opportunity, because it was the only opportunity I had to play football. No one else gave me a scholarship, so it was a huge opportunity, and it really molded my life. It gave me a chance to play professional football, came to a great school for 4 years, made some great friends, but there's no opportunity that other kids are going to have that they aren't going to have here. They can do anything they want to do. The weight room is great. The coaches are great. The facilities are great. They can do anything they want to if they put the work in and the time in. They have the same opportunities every other kid has in the country, no matter what school you go to. That was it. Just the opportunity is there for you to take advantage of it.
Now, too, looking back at your program, what do you want to see from Lobo football when you watch it?
Competition. I'm a big fan of competition. I mean, the wins are going to happen, I think, eventually. It's just I want to see them competing. I don't like it when they get out. When a game gets out of hand, whether it's good or bad, our way or the other way, I like to see guys compete. That's all I really care about. I told my son that no matter what the situation is, go out there, compete, practice, games, whatever it is, compete, man.
Just wants to keep your head up, finish strong, and an opportunity. And he knows things are different in this era with the transfer portal, which we'll talk about here in a moment, but also being welcome back. And it might seem like a no-brainer. It's Brian Urlacher, and we think of Lobo football on the national stage, it's Brian Urlacher. But, everyone's different. And a lot of coaches have different feelings, even when it comes to alumni, what they're allowed to do, bringing them back around. But Urlacher talked about connecting with Coach Eck and coming out and speaking with the team this week.
We've talked quite a bit via text message and phone calls. Man, he's been great. I like that he leans on me and asks me questions and stuff like that. I appreciate that. We're the same age, so it's not like I'm looking up to him and like, hey, appreciate you reaching out. But it's cool. I think he understands some of the alumni. It's good to have them around, so it was nice of him to ask me to come back. I appreciate it.
And it was a good vibe, with Urlacher yesterday. He did really seem to appreciate the opportunity to be around the team, speak with them the night before, watch practice. And his message was you can be here, become what you want, but he also understands that playing summer for 4 years, it's changed. And he discussed, his thoughts on is college football in 2025.
So it's frustrating to see players come here and do really well and then leave. I can't stand it. It's like a stepping stone to get seen. I get it. I understand. I know the landscape of college football is different right now, but you come here, and last year it happened with a couple guys, and they earned it. I understand they want to go on, and it's hard to say no that type of money when you're going somewhere to a big school like that. You get to play. They're paying you money. Sometimes you got to go. I get it. I don't like it, but college football is different now. After every season, you got to recruit your players again. They're free agents after every season, so that's just the landscape of football right now.
Just the landscape of football. And so there's that mindset of, yeah, this is an opportunity. Come here, grind, and you can do it. But, Brian Urlacher was the player that, all right, he was overlooked. He came to the University of Mexico, put in the work, and became a first-round draft pick. Became an NFL Hall of Famer. Now you put in the work and you go get paid somewhere else. And that's the challenge of it. But when it comes down to it, you're here. And the players right now that are practicing are wearing New Mexico across their chest. And Urlacher was asked, all right, what is your message to the team? What did you say to the players?
My message was there's only a couple things you can control on a football field. A lot of things are going to happen bad to you out there that are out of your control. Control the things you can control. There's 3 of them. I'm not going to tell you guys, but there's 3 things you can control. Control that, have fun, be prepared, and run to the football. If you run to the football, good things happen.
Run to the football. Keep it simple.
Oh, yeah. That's something that a lot of players, they hear it so much they don't realize how important that actually is, especially if you're a college player and you're playing defense. If you will just run to the football full speed every play, the coach is going to put you on the field 100%. No matter if you get off blocks or not, because you got guys that can be the greatest D lineman, but if you got a D lineman who is making tackles on a post route, 20 yards downfield, receiver breaks 1 tackle, now there's a big 280-pound defensive tackle down there. Coaches love that.
Effort, running the football, play hard, things that matter across the board. Not just playing football, but whatever you're doing, you give it your effort, be locked in. That was the message from Brian Urlacher to the Lobos yesterday. And with Urlacher in attendance, it was a camp day that leaned towards the defense, made a lot of plays, especially late in practice. In the day before, so Monday, was out there in the red zone drills, and it was the offense. When you look at Lane and the other quarterbacks, they're making some nice throws in the red zone over the top, beating the secondary, while the defense came out big yesterday. The end of practice, making a ton of plays on the field. And Jason Eck spoke on that, saying, it's going to happen. Usually it's kind of the ebbs and flows in practice. And the defense has had a few more days, as Brian Urlacher talked about that too. He said, it doesn't matter if you're in college camp or the NFL. Sometimes the defense is going to kind of have their way early, and Coach Eck just hopes as they are a day away from a scrimmage tomorrow, that just comes more even. You get your back and forth because you want to see both sides being successful, but you also just don't want to see one side dominating in camp because you're looking for that consistency across the board. But Brian in town, good demeanor, big time opportunity too for the team to just listen to Brian Urlacher, his story, what he means to Lobo football, and you heard it from himself right there. 505. Oh, go ahead, Zay.
Yeah, so I got a question for you real quick. So just based off like the average, say, of salaries of other defensive coordinators, linebacker coaches, and then, you got your big names, a lot of ex-NFL players that are coaching nowadays, more so than we may have expected maybe 10 years ago. Do you think it would have to break the bank to get Urlacher here as any type of consistent part of the program? Because it may not make a 4 or 5 star receiver want to come here, but there are 100%. The linebacker position, you're used to feeling like you've got to carry a defense and be the field general. I think if he ties himself more to the program, he could definitely snipe a high-end linebacker that maybe just wants to play for Brian Urlacher because he wants to go pro. He's like, I'm going to learn from Urlacher.
So here's the thing. I don't think Brian Urlacher is ever going to get into coaching.
Oh.
He's set himself up pretty well, especially the next couple years. His son was playing at Notre Dame. Now he transferred to USC.
Okay. So, he's occupied.
So he did say, I'm LA is where he's going to be on the weekends for those games.
Don't blame him.
Another couple years. And I think if anything, it would be announcing him as a general manager.
Okay.
But I don't know how tied in he would be. It's like what we just saw with Dame Lillard in Weber State. I think, Damian Lillard's the general manager for Weber State basketball, or Trae Young in Oklahoma, right? It's how much are you really involved in that process? But you're on the right path. It's just, can you get that name recognition?
Yeah,
can you get it connected? Could you be an honorary general manager for Global Football? Because you got the revenue sharing now. You still got Kurt Roth, 505 Sports Ventures doing their thing, but maybe loop in Brian Urlacher. Yeah, but I don't think it would be in a day-to-day hands-on role, coaching linebackers or anything where he's in the weeds with that stuff.
You just think we couldn't pay him that much? You think he'd just be like,
I just don't think he'd want to do it.
Okay. Or probably both.
Yeah. And two, is that worth the money that to just pay someone for their name?
Yeah.
When you have to pay everyone else.
He's got to know how to coach. It's a fact.
Well, not just, all right, we're going to pay you to be a GM, but then the players that are coming in, you have to figure out how to pay them too. And so there's this, do you want Brian Urlacher a part of things? 158%. Yes. And I think he will be around. It will be a voice of the program, just like it was yesterday, in terms of like a meaningful role like that. I just don't know if that's on the table, at least, especially for the foreseeable future with him still watching his son play at USC. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Coming up at 8:30, Michael Lombardi, NFL administrator for over 30 years, 3 Super Bowl rings. His work with Bill Belichick at the Patriots. Currently, speaking of general managers, the general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heels football team. But his book, Football Done Right, re-releasing. And really excited for this conversation, not just to discuss what his book is all about, but pick his brain on the current executives like Jerry Jones and what Jerry has meant to the NFL, but his style of ownership, of general managing. Talking with Michael Lombardi coming up at 8:30. On the other side, though, running backs absolutely still matter. And one good and one bad from this team's camp. It's coming up next right here on The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Lowe.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
From 12 to 4 p.m. at Ex Novo Brewing Company, 701 Central Avenue Northwest. Sports Animal Birthday Bash will be giving out t-shirts, special edition t-shirts, food and drink specials from Ex Novo. I got to know if Zay's going to be there, because then the attendance will rise exponentially.
Right. Oh, I'll be there. You know, we got that's our birthday weekend, and
That is
DC,
correct.
all three of us.
Happy birthday. It is. Because you're 24, right?
I'm 27.
No, I mean 8/24.
Oh, I was like, you're kind of close.
Youngin over here.
Yep, August 24th.
We got the Kobe Day.
Yep.
Yeah, both of us are 8/24. DC's 8/23.
Yeah.
It's nice of the Sports Animal to throw us the birthday party.
Yeah,
It's been
right?
a minute. I really appreciate it. Feels good. Looking forward to seeing everyone Saturday, August 23rd, 12 to 4 p.m. Ex Novo Brewing, 701 Central Avenue Northwest. And we'll have a lot more details to give out over the next couple weeks. And for more information, go to sportsanimalabq.com. And hopefully see ProView Network, Adrian, all the folks out there as well before things get cray-cray. And it's already cray-cray, right? ProView Network, you guys are busy. You had everyone working the Connie Mack World Series. High school football is here, but we'll hang out, get together on the 23rd, which is the first day of college football as well. It's 0 weeks. So there will be some college football games going on. But then, of course, August 30th, we're in it. And we're head first in Louisville football season and everything else. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you this morning on The Sports Animal. So running backs matter. And we're seeing that play out last year with Saquon Barkley. He took a good offense and made it great. Now, there's still a balance to it. It's, well, how much do you want to invest in good guys? Are they great? Is it the difference? You have James Cook in Buffalo right now saying, no, I want to be paid like Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry and break that $15 million per year plateau for running backs. And James Cook is good. He had 16 touchdowns. He popped in an offense that Josh Allen still rushed in 12. But he just had over 1,000 yards. And so that's the question for Buffalo. Is like, all right, you're good, but are you one of these guys? Are you going to make us great? Well, the one good for the Los Angeles Rams is Kieran Williams agreed to a 3-year, $33 million extension. He was a fifth-round pick back in 2022, had the broken foot, hurt his rookie season, but he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, so he's been effective in the passing game. He's already got 2,400 yards and 26 touchdowns the past 2 seasons. And if I'm looking at James Cook, and I'm going, wait. So, Karen Williams just got $11 million per year, and he's done a little bit more than you have. Don't think you're getting the 15. So that contract negotiation probably going to continue for a little bit in Buffalo, but that is a very good deal for the Rams. Yeah, Williams gets paid, but he has been super productive over the last 2 years. You're telling me I get a good starting running back, $11 million per year? That's quality contract for the Los Angeles Rams. That's the good. The bad is we're still talking about Matthew Stafford's back. And initially, like, all right, old man might be struggling to loosen up his back a little bit. They're going to take their time. But when reports are I might be seeing a specialist again for it, and it's not just him not playing in the preseason but not practicing, that worry meter starts to move. Because Matthew Stafford, he showed it last year at the end. You know, that game in Philadelphia, on the road, bad weather conditions, and the Rams were right there. Like, he's still a dude that has you thinking, oh, that's why the Rams can win that division. That's why the Rams can be a problem in the postseason. And your worry meter starts going up and up the longer it's not just, oh, he'll be back on this day. No, it's, oh, he has to go see another specialist. So one good, one bad from Rams camp yesterday. The continued questions surrounding Matthew Stafford and his back. But you got Karen Williams locked in, one of the most productive running backs in the NFL of the last 2 years. Coming up at 8:30, Michael Lombardi, NFL executive for over 30 years, 3 Super Bowl titles, currently working as general manager for North Carolina Tar Heels. He's going to join us to talk about his book, Football Done Right, plus so much more across the NFL landscape. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fire.
Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
The hype train for this quarterback class still going. Sophomore slump or sophomore takeoff? We saw some big hits last year, and there's high expectations for the players that played a little bit, maybe not even played at all last season. But all eyes are still on last year's quarterback class, and the hype train, well, one of them is being led by the head coach of their second-year quarterback, and another played 3 games last year but thinks they could be the highest-scoring team in the NFL. What it do? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. Zay Johnson holding it down. JJ Buck with you, Adrian on ProView Networks. Coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, Abe Williams, preseason all-conference selection as a Mountain West kick returner. First-year Lobo, trying to become CB1 for Spence Nowinski in this Lobo defense. Caught up with him, and we hear the conversation from one of the best athletes in college football. We'll tell you all about that. 8:30, Michael Lombardi is going to join us, talk about his book, Football Done Right. NFL executive for over 30 years. 3-time Super Bowl champ in those roles, and now general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So looking forward to that. Football across the board, but you know the OD has you covered, going so many different ways. But right now it's the second-year quarterbacks, and we've talked about them over and over and over again. But the high-flying Falcons. So Michael Penix, not lacking for confidence. That's what you're talking about, right? You got to be locked in. You got to trust in yourself. And Penix is setting the bar as high as you can for the Falcons as he takes over as a starting quarterback after playing just 3 games last year. But Penix, you look at that offense. He's got Bijan Robinson, Drake London. I guess we'll still talk about Kyle Pitts because he went over 1,000 yards as a rookie. But maybe this can help ignite him some. Invest in the offensive line. Solid, locked-in veterans up front. And Michael Penix was asked about the development of the Falcons offense and could you potentially lead the league? And he said, quote, potentially, we should be the best in the league, end quote. Now, the Falcons averaged 32 points in the 3 games that Penix started at the end of last year.
32?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And yeah, if that's you come out, those are the 3 games you played, I can understand why you'd be saying that for the sophomore quarterback for the Falcons. But you look at that division, and it should be ATL Tampa Bay going back and forth. Teams that rely on their offense. We saw Baker Mayfield, the touchdown maker last season. 10-7 was the mark. And, of course, at 610 KNML on the X, we've been running the division polls, and this was the closest one so far, Zay. Put it up there, who is going to win the NFC South. You can log on to the X, follow us, the station at 610 KNML, vote in the division polls. And we discussed, the AFC West one earlier this week, and people loving the Broncos and the hype train, which we'll discuss about the second-year quarterbacks here. The quotes from Sean Payton, which just get deeper and deeper in the pressure that he's putting on his team. But the NFC South, the votes are in from the sports animals, and it's a three-way tie. So Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and Carolina all got 30% of the vote. I guess there was a Saints fan in there, a couple that put the Saints.
Carolina is crazy.
10%. But here we go. Carolina, looking at this division, saying, all right, Atlanta and Tampa Bay, good, but they don't seem insurmountable.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young, again, second half of the season.
He looked better.
A little bit better.
He's
got McMillan in there. So they're saying, all right, you got a top 10 draft pick at wide receiver. You got veterans. You got Adam Thielen. Brought back Hunter Renfrow. You get your route runners. Got Chuba Hubbard, who was good last year. So I can see how people might be, all right, let's see if this Bryce Young can be a consistent quarterback week to week. To me, it still comes down to Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And Carolina can be feisty, but I don't think they're going to win the division.
Who's even on their defense? I can't think of a single person in Carolina's defense.
The no-name Carolina Panther defense at this moment in time. And that would be, all right, where the Falcons could take a step forward. Because you say, all right, they have the weapons to match Tampa Bay. Now the Buccaneers have Mike Evans, who's going for his 12th straight 1,000-yard season. Still a playmaker down the field.
Yeah, Godwin still, right?
Godwin is going to come on slowly because he had a second ankle procedure.
That's right.
In the offseason. But they drafted a first-round wide receiver at Ohio State. So they can slide him in to wide receiver stats. Bucky Irving was really good as a rookie last year. And you trust Baker Mayfield now. Yeah. So offensively, Tampa Bay and Atlanta should match each other. And you go, all right, what are you going to do defensively? Well, what did the Falcons do? They invested multiple first-round picks in edge rushers. James Pierce being one of those in from Tennessee. And so they're saying, all right, we believe in our offense. And I do think that, there might be deeper divisions, but Atlanta, Tampa Bay is as close as it gets. And you go toe-to-toe, where's the edge? It's hard to see one between either of these teams.
Yeah. If I did have to pick a team, I'd lean Tampa just because we know what we're going to get. But it would not shock me at all if the Falcons came out and were a powerhouse. I just feel like Tampa Bay, Baker and Mike Evans alone, I think they're good for 6 wins. I think Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield right now, I think his career trajectory, I see it kind of going similar to how Stafford's was, but I think he's going to have a little bit, actually, Stafford Megatron. So, yeah, I think actually, I think Baker, I compare his career a lot to Stafford, and I think he's just kind of going to age like fine wine. So I think he's going to continue to get a little bit better.
It's one where you almost have to remind yourself just how good Baker Mayfield was last year.
Yeah.
3rd in the league in passing, 4,500 yards, but 41 touchdowns, just 16 interceptions.
Wow.
He was the touchdown maker last year.
He probably had some rushing in there, huh?
He probably snuck in a couple.
A couple.
But the big thing is even Godwin being out, Ibuka, the Ohio State receiver slides in there.
That's who they got. Okay, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, but he's good. Ibuka's good.
Yeah. And that's why you look at the divisions. There might be some deeper races, still some tight races, but I look at ATL and Tampa Bay. And I'm like, and to your point, you just go with Baker because you trust, right, he's ascended and he's the guy that you're going to trust. But, Michael Penix and this quarterback class from last year, there's just still so much hype and there's just belief. in these guys. You just saw such a small sample size from Penix, and so maybe there's a few more bumps in the road, and that could end up being the difference between Tampa Bay and Atlanta in the NFC South. Is a few learning curves for Penix that give the edge to Baker Mayfield and company, but then it's going to be does Carolina trip up either of these teams? Division play, because it's not the Saints right now, man. Sometimes we get it completely wrong with the team that we think is going to be just really bad, and they end up being good. That's the NFL. That's the hope. That's the lure of the league. But the Saints are a hard one to say, all right, they're going to get it right with one of these guys.
They are one of those teams where they kind of give me, although I know everything's different about them, they kind of give me that feeling that the Steelers always gave me, where it's like you always think they're about to fall off, and they don't. I know they've fallen off somewhat, but the Saints, it wouldn't shock me if they just squeaked to eight wins. I think 7-8 wins would be a positive for them. That would be
a huge positive. They were 5-12 last year. Yeah. The Panthers and Saints were both 5-12. I think there's more belief that, all right, Bryce Young can give you some consistency this season. Atlanta going from Kirk Cousins to Michael Penix late, they were 8-9. And then Tampa Bay won the division at 10-7. So I think it's going to be, if you get to 11, I think you got the NFC South on lock.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's going to be similar. Tampa Bay 10-7 again this season, even with the performance we saw last year from Baker Mayfield. But the Saints are just one of those teams. Like you said, you always want to take a step back and say, all right, let me look at the whole picture real quick. I don't want to just jump on something because it's the way everyone feels. But when it's Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, and Jake Haener, and you look at Tyler Shuck, we talk about experience, and we've discussed the way the NFL might be changing things. He's 26 years old. So he should be seasoned. He's actually 2 years older than Spencer Rattler, who they drafted last year, 6 months younger than Jake Haener. But do you get this? If Shuck wins the job, he will be the first Week 1 rookie starting quarterback for the Saints since Archie Manning in 1971. Wow. That just kind of blew my mind. For as bad as the Saints have been at times, that they haven't had a rookie start since Archie Manning. That's just crazy stat. But it's almost like, all right, that we discussed it in these other situations. Do you almost have to just start Shuck and see if he got something? Best of the second round pick,
Yeah, I think a lot. I do like situations like this because you got your casuals that are like preseason doesn't matter. But like if you've been tracking a team's development process and who they drafted and what they're trying to do, it really does. That's where a lot of people earn their spot, earn their money. That's actually the main, way to do it. So I think in watching a lot of these preseason games, you're going to get to see kind of what we've been talking about for ever since the Super Bowl, ended. And just like, what can this player be? What can this player be? What kind of season are they going to have? So I think that's the exciting part.
505-246-0610. The sophomore quarterbacks, who has the best season? And is it just, of course, it's got to be Daniels, because look what he did with the Commanders last week. Or is one of these other guys ready to really take off? And we see a sophomore slump. The C.J. Stroud. Thought it was the next Joe Burrow. Now C.J. Stroud still got the playoffs. Didn't quite look the same in year two. It's a tough league, but which sophomore quarterback be the best of the group? 505-246-0610. It is opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Audible.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats.
They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold.
They should. And Ben Johnson discussing their scrimmage from other weekends, saying things are still too messy. He's not where they want to be. But Caleb Williams in that offense, I think it's going to work. Jaden Daniels, well, we know he works, and what he did last year for the Commanders, the postseason run they went on, and he had 25 touchdowns, is 9 interceptions, which is a phenomenal number. And you think, all right, he can just keep getting better there. 30-plus touchdown season upcoming with the rushing upside. Bo Nix took the Broncos to the postseason. Now, there's still a level they need to get to. We saw that when they got blued out by the Bills in the playoffs. But still, there wasn't that expectation for Bo Nix to get going that fast with the Denver Broncos. The guy we haven't discussed is Drake May. And May was Jared Mayo, different coach. There's 13 games played for Drake May. And they went the veteran route to start the season. And you look at May in his 13 games, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, not a lot of weapons, but the Patriots got Stephon Diggs, just a veteran guy. Kyle Williams, rookie wide receiver at Washington State, getting a ton of buzz. They drafted Henderson, the running back at Ohio State, Ramondre Stevenson looking for a bounce back year. And all of a sudden, like, okay, Drake May's interesting. Now, is it enough to dethrone the Buffalo Bills in that division? I don't think so. But is it enough to keep them potentially in the wild card race? Potentially. And all of a sudden, you're just looking at this sophomore quarterback class. And with Penix, May, Daniels, Nix, Caleb Williams, and then the redshirt freshman of the group, it's J.J. McCarthy. So he's going to be without one of his weapons for the first 3 games. As Jordan Addison was suspended 3 games by the NFL, stemming back to a DUI case where he pleaded to. And so Addison is going to miss 3 games. But J.J. McCarthy into a proven offense with Jetta, Justin Jefferson on the side, T.J. Hawkinson, probably lean on Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason a lot early in the season. And the easy answer to this would be, well, it's got to be Jaden Daniels because he was just awesome last year. But is one of those other guys interest you as like, all right, they could be the best of that group this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious I'm a big Bo Nix guy. So I think Bo Nix is going to, I mean, me personally, I think the Broncos will, actually, I'll keep it individual because I don't know how the Broncos team is going to do versus the Commanders overall team. I think top to bottom, the Commanders might be more talented as an overall roster, but I think that I'd take Denver personally. But I think individually, I think Bo Nix will have a better season than Jaden Daniels. I think when you look at the stats, I think he'll accumulate more. He might throw more picks because I think he's more of a gunslinger, and that's more so of his play style. I think so. I feel like Jaden Daniels, because of his legs and because of the way they use him in the running game, I think he'll keep the interception amount down. Now, I don't think it'll be in the middle. It's either going to be down or it might be way up. I don't think it's going to be like he'll have like a middle season. He's either going to excel or he's going to be worse. I don't think he'll just come out and be consistent, Jaden Daniels. Keep in mind, I know Jaden Daniels made it to the championship game, but if you look at the stats, I mean, like his rookie season, we've seen a guy, Dak Prescott, have a great rookie season, and then in his second year, seemed a little iffy. So we've seen something similar before to what we just saw to Jaden Daniels. So I think I'm going to pump the brakes on him as of right now.
Yeah, you look at the turnovers. So Bo Nix has 12 interceptions last year, 29 touchdowns. Bo was 12th in yards overall last year, 3,762. Now, Daniels, of course, added more with his legs, but Bo has athleticism as well. And this is one where that hype train is full speed ahead with the Broncos, and the defense is better in Denver than it is in Washington. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. But it's because the head coach is putting those expectations on the Broncos, on Bo Nix. And the interview that Yahoo Sports did with Sean Payton, man, it is full of bulletin board material. The head coach of the Denver Broncos said, of course, quote, the short-term goal is winning the division, but this is a team capable of winning the Super Bowl. I've coached 6 teams that I thought could win the Super Bowl. Some went to the championship game, some of the playoffs. But this is the 7th team that I think that.
Wow.
And again, we talk about confidence, and everyone had a great offseason. Everyone is feeling good. But, like, Sean Payton, it's not just doubling down. He's going all in on Bo Nix and being not just a top 5 quarterback, but this team being a Super Bowl contender right now.
Well, here's what I think the very, very nice situation that Denver is in. You know, the fans, the team, and, the coaching staff and owners. They're in a very, very unique position where I kind of look at them similar to, remember those Paul George Pacers, right? LeBron's been dominating. It's like, okay, are these the guys that can finally knock off, can they finally get LeBron off our screen? I think Denver's in that position where
people want them to beat Kansas City.
They are
snap
the team.
that streak of 9 straight division titles.
Yeah, I think
by Kansas City.
Baltimore and Buffalo, I think Kansas City will just always barely edge it out against them. But I think Denver's a team that has a fresh enough slate. They don't have too much trauma involved with Mahomes. I think that they can knock off the Chiefs.
We'll talk about quarterback development, the history of the game, and so much more with Michael Lombardi. He joins us next. His book, Football Done Right, is out. He's general manager of the North Carolina Tar Heels. He's won 3 Super Bowls as an executive in the NFL, and he joins us next on The Sports Animal.
This message is brought to you by The Lodge.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Moody's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
We were working on 16 millimeter tape. So when you scouted and you went to Albuquerque and went to the University of New Mexico, basically you got in the office there and hopefully they would let you look at the tape because there wasn't a lot of tape around. It was, it was expensive to duplicate 16 millimeter tape. So the job of a scout required that you write a description of the player as if the person who was reading the report would never see them. So you learn how to write in a descriptive way, just writing reports, which was great for me, and I like to write. So, I knew that I was fortunate enough to have worked for three of the greatest coaches in the history or the, people in the league, and Al Davis, Bill Belichick, and Bill Walsh. I'm the only person who went to the Super Bowl with all three of them. So I knew I had a story to tell, and I wanted to be able to tell it in the right way, which is why I wrote Gridiron Genius. And then this book, to me, was more about trying to help people who been overlooked. Clark Shaughnessy invented the forward pass. He can't get in the Hall of Fame. Marty Schottenheimer's won 200 games in his NFL career. Only 9 people, including Marty, have done that, and yet he can't get a sniff to get in. So I thought there was some injustice.
Now, you mentioned writing reports and the work you had to do. So take me back to 1981, recruiting coordinator at UNLV. And what was that time like for you, and how did that propel you forward?
Well, I mean, I didn't know a damn thing. I mean, obviously, I was a complete blank tape. I was, I was just fortunate enough that Harvey Hyde, the head coach at UNLV at the time, took a chance on me and let me come in and basically gave me Burger King coupons and a place to sleep so I could sleep and eat. But it was great, and then I was able to work for 3 years there, and scouts came in, and I got the most incredible day of my life is I got offered to be Bill Walsh's gopher, and that's how really my career got started. I basically drove Coach Walsh around whenever he needed to go somewhere, and I got to sit in the car and listen to him tell me things that that if I asked him a question or I could overhear him blurting things out. So it was like a blessing to me to learn the game from one of the greatest mentors you could ever possibly have.
You're discussing some of the biggest figures in NFL history, and we see one still going right now. And Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, the standoff. What has Jerry Jones meant to the NFL, and what do you think of the way that he's ran his franchise and how he handles things as GM Jerry?
Well, I mean, look, GM Jerry it's when the owner's the GM. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that he runs the team. It's a challenging job for the owner to be the GM because the GM has to say yes or no, and the players have to think they work for the coach. I worked for Al Davis, who owned the team and was the general manager, and it's difficult for the head coach more than it is for the GM. It's difficult for the head coach because the players have to think they work for him. And when the head coach doesn't have that command, it becomes a little bit more of a challenge. I think Jimmy, when he was there, clearly everybody knew they worked for Jimmy. But since Jimmy's left, and including when Switzer took over, that hasn't necessarily been the case. I mean, look, the Cowboys are an incredible franchise. But, for them not to be able to get to the level that they've wanted since, the last Super Bowl '94 has to be disappointing to the whole family.
Michael Lombardi joining us, his book, Football Done Right. And you look at the coaches in the book, you talk about the top 10. Well, number 7 is the guy that laid the foundation for the Cowboys, Tom Landry. And, looking back on it, reading it, and I'm like, wait, 20 consecutive winning seasons? One, how do you do that? But when you were looking at the coaches that were most impactful that you wanted to write about, what stood out with a lot of those guys and someone like Tom Landry?
Well, that's always a hard list, but what stood out is consistency, right? It's the ability to keep winning and compete for championships. We have such a preoccupation with who won the Super Bowl, where, I think really the measure of excellence is who gets to the conference championship game, what 4 teams get there. And you need to win a Super Bowl. There's no question. I've been fortunate enough to win 3 of them, and 2 of them were kind of very lucky. I mean, Malcolm Butler makes a play on a 1-yard line, and we come back from 28-3 to win a game. So, it could go either way here. I could be a 1-time Super Bowl champion, not a 3-time, and it went the right way. But I think that being in the conference championship game is really that hurdle is incredibly hard. And these coaches that I put in the list have been able to do that on Tom Landry's consistency. Now here's the thing that you have to take into account is that he's been able to do it. And no, there was no salary cap and all that, so they were able to keep players. But I think at the end of the day, I looked at the list and what they did to advance the game in terms of their technology and their ability to help what side of the ball they were on. I mean, Landry coached offense and defense.
Okay, Michael, so I got a quick question. So, amongst all these great coaches, I'm always big, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm always sitting here beating the table about discipline. Amongst, the all-time great coaches, what have you noticed, or if anything, is apparent in all of them when it comes to demanding respect from their players? Is it more so they demand it verbally? Is it, just kind of like a feeling when they walk into a room? What is it amongst all these coaches that kind of allowed them to have command over their teams?
Intellectual capacity. I mean, Bill Belichick rarely raises his voice. Bill Walsh rarely raised his voice. It's what can you do to make the players better? When you show the players you have incredible knowledge of the game and you put them in a position where they look their best, you will command respect when you walk in the room. I tell my 2 sons who both work, one works in the NFL, the other one works here at North Carolina with me. I tell them all the time, players will listen to you if you can make them better. That's the goal. And as a coach, as a head coach, you've got to make everybody better. You've got to be able to be in command of everything, know what's going on, be able to have a solution, be able to understand the difference between doing things right and doing the right thing. Leaders do things right. Leaders do the right thing. Managers do things right. And I think that's what separates them. And I wrote a whole book on that if you read Gridiron Genius. And it was prompted by my project that I did for the Rams, and it really led me down a leadership road that I'm very thankful for.
Joined by Michael Lombardi. His book is Football Done Right. It's a read that will enlighten even the biggest NFL fan. And you mentioned your role now with the Tar Heels. So what's harder to handle, an NFL offseason or a college football offseason now that you got the portal, revenue sharing, and NIL?
Well, I think the college is way more sporadic. There's no collective bargaining agreement. There's no rules, and your team's changing constantly. I think it's way more difficult now than it was than in the NFL, where you have a little bit more structure. And then, of course, you had June. The month of June is a recruiting month, which is really, really, it keeps you busy, it keeps you on your toes, and it becomes very challenging to do it. So, yeah, I think the college, it's just way more things that are going on. There's just a lot more. You're dealing with the 26 recruiting class, the 27 recruiting class, and then your competition does X, Y, or Z. So it's a little harder.
Now, would you like to see college athletics go to more of an NFL model with the way players are treated? What do you think the future holds for college football?
Well, I would hope that we could find, since they're getting paid, I hope there's some way that there's a way to where they could collectively bargain to get some kind of uniformity amongst the schools so that everybody understands the rules. And I think that's been the hardest part is when there is kind of no rules, everybody has different interpretations, so it becomes a little bit different.
And one of the things that I'm really excited to ask you about is the development at the quarterback position. It's been different throughout the history of the game. And last year's class, it really looked like teams were not just looking for, all right, can you come in and have a high ceiling, but can you come in with a solid floor? And you look at Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, guys that played a lot of college football, being able to come in. Are you seeing a different way teams are looking at these rookie quarterbacks, actually looking for experience as opposed to maybe just a young guy that you can develop for a longer period of time?
Well, I mean, look, you got to have experience and you got to have success. I mean, those are the hard things. I think when Jaden Daniels would transfer, he went to LSU, he became a better player, you know, and I think that's important. I think, look, the one thing that you can't do is it's hard to get reps, right? You need reps. In college, you need more. The more you play, the better off you are. And I think ultimately that's kind of that's where, you know, experience matters. I mean, Bill Parcells would often talk about he wanted to draft a quarterback who had 37 starts in college, because that's 3 years as basically being a starter.
Michael Lombardi with us, just a couple more minutes. You know, flipping through this book, what I love to do too with the players, just open it up and read about one, and you can go through so many of the guys that you've discussed. But if you're, you know, talking to that new era fan, that young kid that's just getting into the game of football, if you had to pick one of those players to tell them about, who would it be?
Ronnie Lott. I think, you know, Ronnie Lott is one of the great players of all time. He's in my top 10. You know, he played safety in a day where he played corner, then he played safety, and he dominated both positions. He was an incredible teammate. He was the instrument that drove the 49er machine. He allowed their toughness and the character of the team to really shine through. I think people need to know about Ronnie and how great of a player he was. The great Joe Montana, I was fortunate enough to watch him, be around him. But I think today's game, because you know, people understand the safety position was so unique back then when Ronnie played, because of the physicality and the intimidation that it created in the middle of the field, that, you know, I think we've lost sight of a little bit of that. And look, I think it's really important to honor some of the great players. A lot of these people, I work with a bunch of young people, and when I say a name and we're watching a tape, I mention a player's name, I said, well, I know you guys don't know that guy. You know, I have to educate them on him. It's kind of challenging.
Michael, appreciate the time. The book is Football Done Right. You said it's a busy time at work in North Carolina. You're still sharing all your takes and opinions on the game, but we appreciate your time this morning, and say the book has been a fun read so far, man. Thank you. That is Michael Lombardi joining us this morning on The Opening Drive. Now, I thought that was a great question that you brought up, and about, you know, what do you do? You know, how do you command a room, right? And, you know, it was interesting, the coaches that he's worked with, it's kind of been the opposite, right? It's been I think it was, all right, you walk in and you have everyone's presence, right? Exactly. You're not having to be banging tables, you know, flipping chairs over. You got their attention.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something that I've always appreciated. And I say one thing, I've never been on a team that was just like NFL level, but I feel like football is the same at a lot of different levels and a lot of different aspects. And I've had coaches that were little guys and never would scream, but would have the attention of everybody. You know, when you walk, like, you can tell he walks into the room because people stop talking. And I've also had coaches that were bigger and were very, very, you know, aggressive and would flip the tables. And it makes a player lose respect a little bit, because it's like he's doing all this, but everything's still the same. You know, so it's like you're flipping all these tables, but we're still losing. You know, so you're not fixing.
Keep breaking the tables, you just got to pay for them now.
Yeah, you're breaking the tables. We still lost. Like, you know, what are we going to do to fix the problem?
Michael Lombardi, the book is Football Done Right. You can check it out now. It's out wherever you get your books, your tablets, your bookstores. Yes, bookstores still a thing. 505-246-0610. Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you to get involved this morning. There are a couple of things in there that really stood out, and I don't want to get into the owner/GM and the challenges that is brought up now, especially with Jerry Jones and his role in the contract negotiations. We'll hit that next. The Opening Drive here on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not.
And yes, I'm one of those talking heads, right? I feed the beast. But one of the things that it frustrates me sometimes in the conversation is where we get so caught up on you're either elite or you suck.
Yeah.
Or it's you either win a Super Bowl or nothing else matters, right? Like there's no in between. Like, well, if you can't win a Super Bowl, you should just suck and tank. Well, no. Like the consistency and what he says about conference championship. See, that's what I look at. I'm like, all right, for you to be a Super Bowl contender, can you make the conference championship game? That's where I don't immediately just look and say, oh, this is a Super Bowl team. No, it's like, can you be one of those Final Four? Because you have to win a conference championship to then have an opportunity to win a championship. And it's the Indiana Pacers model. Like, no one's going to look at the Pacers and be like, they're elite. But what were they? They were consistent. They were good in multiple years. And things broke their way. And where'd they get to? The NBA Finals. And that's the way I look at sports a lot of times. It's not just getting caught up on, oh, these are the three elite quarterbacks. Everyone else sucks. Oh, you only have a good quarterback. You only have Dak Prescott at quarterback. You know what? Just tank the season so you can draft someone number one overall. Because that's a guarantee, not. Mm-hmm. It's finding consistency in that. So I appreciate the mindset. And that's an NFL executive that's won championships. It's been on teams that have been led by an elite quarterback in Tom Brady, but still understanding, all right, to get to that next level, you have to find consistency. Now, the consistent teams right now also just happen to match up with elite quarterback play. So you can't ignore that. But there is an in-between world. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, and some players I think of that live in that in-between world, like right now, you could say Baker Mayfield. We were just praising him. And would I sit here and say that he's top 5? Probably not. Do I think he can be? I think that's really the biggest thing for me is those guys that are in the middle. It's like, is their peak able to flirt with top 5? Like, you know, or I guess that's for a quarterback or for a team. At their best, could they go in one game and take out the Goliath? Which is why I speak highly of the Broncos. So I think it's a matter of another really good formula for an NFL team specifically is if you've got a star quarterback. Because when you've got a star quarterback, you know that any given game, you can go out there and win a football game, especially if the defense just helps out a little bit.
which is why I said I acknowledge getting that quarterback, but it doesn't always have to mean, well, you got to suck for the number 1 overall pick. Because that's also hard to get out of if you're a bad franchise top to bottom. The number one overall pick isn't necessarily going to take you to that next level. So waiting for it, Trevor Lawrence. Baker Mayfield in Cleveland is a really good example.
Yeah.
Baker was not bad in Cleveland. Like, they went to the playoffs, but he couldn't save the whole franchise. And then he got bounced around, and then he found his fit in Tampa Bay. And we're like, yeah, this dude's pretty good. He's one of those guys that can have his elevation moments. And so I thought that was a really interesting comment, just the consistency. And that's the way I look at things. I don't necessarily just say, all right, Super Bowl or bust. No, it's like, can you get to a conference championship game? And then that gives you the opportunity
100%
to be a champion. But also, the old school mindset. Bill Parcells, 37 starts in college. That's what he was looking for. And we're starting to see that really trend back that direction with the quarterbacks that have been selected over the last few years in the NFL draft. Coming up next, we're going to talk with one of the best athletes on the Lobo football team, hoping to be CB1, but he was selected as a preseason all-conference kick returner. Abe Williams joins us. That's coming up next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico.
Now is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
And we're talking about practice. Global football practice continues. Heard from Brian Urlacher earlier. We'll run some of those comments back coming up at 9:30. He's in town, look at the team motivating the players. And one of those players that hopes to help turn things around is Abraham Williams. First-year Lobo, but looking to make up for some missed time last season, played in 4 games, and then he got hurt. He was at Idaho with Coach Eck, but Williams started his career at Weber State, so he's one of those FCS All-Stars that has a good track record, but now trying to transition to Division I football. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you this morning. Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks. So opportunity. It's the theme of camp so far for Lobo football. And defensively, playmakers needed across the board. Pressure. Can they generate pressure? How are they going to defend the run? But also coverage in the secondary. They have some speed on the outside. And Williams is one of those players. And Williams is focused on really holding down the quarterback position. He has been recognized, not just preseason all-conference by the Mountain West, which he was for a kick returner, but he was a big-time kick returner at Weber State and Idaho last year before he got hurt. But how does this game improve defensively? Because that's where he's going to have the biggest impact. And the opportunity to catch up with Lobo's hope is their CB1. Joined by first-year Lobo cornerback Abraham Williams, preseason All-Mountain West selection as well as a kick returner. So what's it take to be a good kick returner?
It just takes a lot of confidence. And, I mean, you can't really think too much. I mean, you just got to go, and then you got to trust your teammates. So a lot of trust as well.
You got to have that confidence. Those guys bearing down on you, but you are a standout cornerback as well. And you could last year played 4 games before you got hurt, but where do you think you've grown the most as a cornerback holding it down on the outside?
One thing that I wanted to focus on as a corner was the mental side of the game. I think I got a lot better, just knowing the game a lot better. You know, obviously I got the, athleticism, and everything that comes with it. So just kind of sharpening my mind and learning the game a lot more made me a better corner, for sure.
Because you guys have different responsibilities on the outside. You could be playing zone, you could be playing man-to-man. What do you think is one thing just like the common fan doesn't understand about how hard it is when you're out there on one of those islands?
You got someone full speed running at you while you're going backwards. I think that's the hardest thing to do. And a lot of people think we're just out there just guarding receivers, but, we also got to know what's going on a lot, in the backfield or, whether it's route concepts or, kind of just personnel, the guys we're going against, just there's a lot that comes with it.
This year, you guys got a lot of players that you produce at a really high level in the FCS football. You look at this team, is there a mindset of you want to prove yourself, or do you just want to show, hey, it doesn't matter where you're balling out, we can play wherever?
For me, I'm just the guy that just wants to get better every day. So, every day I come here, I try to get better. And so for me, I think it's just to prove to myself, what I'm capable of, and what I know, what I can do.
I mean, with Coach Eck last year, but he comes to UNM. I'm sure you had other opportunities, but what was it that was not just Coach Eck, but this is a situation you wanted to come to this year?
Honestly, really, it was Coach Eck. I love the way he coaches the game. He's more than just a coach. Just his philosophies and what he teaches, attracted me. And just his love for me and, my love for him. And I feel like we built a really great relationship. And not just him, his coaching staff as well. Everyone is like a whole family. So I think I just got really close with them during my year at Idaho.
I just had the opportunity to talk with your DC, Coach Nowinski. What's it like playing for him and the kind of mentality that he's instilling in the defense?
I think it's great. Definitely something that I'm not used to, for sure. I think something that's really good about him is he's always going to get us fired up because he loves the game so much. And, I don't think it's ever going to be a dull moment with him. Every time we're in the meeting room, he just gets us fired up and ready to play. So I think that's a great thing about him.
You play high school football, Salt Lake City or at Weaver State, Idaho. What do you think of the high desert so far?
It's really hot out here. It is really hot for sure. It's a different type of heat, dry heat, but, kind of what Coach Eck was talking about. We're desert built, and, this is something that, is our advantage. So we just try to use this heat as an advantage for other teams. And, just been getting used to it for sure.
So when you get those few moments where you're away, are you a music guy? Are you playing, college football? What do you do when you get some of that free time?
Man, I like to say I'm a chill guy. I just really, I really just like to relax and enjoy my time by myself. But it comes with things like playing a video game or watching movies. I love watching movies, or I might listen to music too. I'm just chill dude.
Lastly for you, man, I know it's about team success. You guys looking at getting to a bowl game and even more this year. But just for you, what do you want to take from this season?
Honestly, like I said before, I just want to get better. I just want to show myself that I'm capable of doing what I say I could do, and just come here, day by day and improve. And once that season comes, all that work is going to show. So,
Abe Williams, kick returner, cornerback, University of New Mexico. One of the Lobos trying to make an impact and show that football is football. And he mentioned his athleticism as a kick returner, the confidence. Well, Bruce Feldman is a college football writer for The Athletic, and he puts out a list every year about the freakiest college football athletes, and Williams landed on that list. And he talks about, so he's 6'1", 186, clocked at 22.5 miles per hour, vertical jump 39 inches, broad jump 10.5.
Wow.
So he landed
Freak
at
athlete.
number 100 on just the freakiest college athletes list. And he's an exciting player because special teams, that's been an area that the Lobos have lacked impact at. And you come in, preseason all-conference kick returner, you have that track record, field position. So it's not just about the kickers, the punting game. What are you doing in the return game? And so he is going to have an impact there, but especially if you can play, lockdown corner. What can you do? How much can you do with these guys? Can you play the little man and mix it in with zone? So Nowinski, the defensive coordinator, can throw different things at them. But, the mentality of it all. And, he's cool, calm, and collected. He said he's just a chill guy that's looking to play some football. But, talking about the cornerback position, and Jose, we know how much quarterback means. But the other positions on the field, where would you say cornerback is in terms of, responsibilities that you have as an individual?
And offense and defense combined?
Yeah.
Well, as far as level of difficulty, it's number 2. Yeah. Physically, number 1. But overall, I'd say it's number 2. The combination of things it takes, being named number 100 on a list like that, it really helps a cornerback out because it gives them, not that he needs confidence or anything like that, but it's validation. And when you truly believe you're like a freak athlete, it allows you to play corner better because you're not going to overreact to maybe a pump and go, like a fake route. You're not going to bite on something too early because you don't feel the need to have to overcompensate for weaknesses. I put cornerback, it's up there with pass rushers because they complement each other as far as importance to a team. Because if you have the ability to go out there and strap up the team's number one receiver, now the quarterback's going to be holding the ball longer, and now, you might force him into another bad pass, interception. So there's a lot of things that a cornerback can do that's not just catch interceptions. They can cause a lot of interceptions just by taking away options. And, it doesn't matter how the turnovers happen or how the stops happen. As long as they happen, it's a win for the Lobos.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you to get involved this morning. We'll have more from Lobo Camp as Brian Urlacher spoke with the team the other night, also spoke with the media yesterday. What did he have to say about Lobo football, connecting with this team, and just his message to the players, what he presented to them? We'll hear from Urlacher coming up at 9:30. But it is back. The 31st Sports Animal Birthday Bash is Saturday, August 23rd from 12 to 4 p.m. at Ex Novo Brewing. Ex Novo Brewing Company, 701 Central Avenue Northwest. We got limited edition T-shirts for the first 100 people, food and drink specials, the personalities you want to see, Zay, and you can wish him happy birthday. Because it's birthday week, and not just for the Sports Animal, for the man himself and everyone else. Come join us Saturday, August 23rd, 12 to 4 p.m., Ex Nova Brewing. It's back, baby. 31st Animal Sports Animal Birthday Bash. So the preseason, it's an opportunity. Shedeur Sanders, the door is wide open. The other battles, but there are some veteran players that want to play, or should they play in the preseason. Hit that next here on the Sports Animal.
Want to hang out with the Sports Animal?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green synthetic putting greens and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And tonight, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We
Guys want to play. Some coaches don't put their starters anywhere on the field in preseason. So how much does it matter to the established players? It's a huge opportunity for players like, of course, Shedeur Sanders, who's stepping in to an exceptional opportunity. Yes, it's preseason football, but you go from QB4 to getting a chance to start with no one healthy. You know, Joe Flacco's not going to be playing preseason games, and you could rise up the depth chart. The quarterback competition in New Orleans, yeah, that's a thing. There's 3 dudes there. It still says Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones in Indy, but to me it just feels like you got to play. You got to somehow, some way get that experience. If you're Anthony Richardson, you could be a new guy in a new place and want to take the field. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you. So Justin Fields, the question is, what is a consistent offense look like with Justin Fields? You know, he's got the wheels. He can make the throws, but we haven't seen him, be in a situation where he can be a consistent passer. He's about 190 yards per game when he's been on the field 90% or more. So the kind of offense you have to tailor around Justin Fields. I think he understands that, and going in with the Jets and given this opportunity to be the starter this season, for sure, no doubt about it. But Justin Fields saying about the upcoming preseason schedule, he says, quote, I think we need to at least see the field each and every game just because of the new team, new offense, and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I feel about the situation. And I can understand that with Justin Fields. He's looking to try to find that consistency, mold that offense, get 1 or 2 series with Garrett Wilson, maybe Breece Hall out there, and that's a challenge because you don't want to hurt those guys before the season. But Aaron Glenn, they are taking a chance with Justin Fields, saying, all right, can we, lightning in a bottle, can we mold an offense that we know might have some limitations, but you got to find that consistency. So Justin Fields wants to take the field. Other people are saying these players should. And the team that scared you at the end of the season but didn't get there, and the reason that they're scared at the end of the season is because they always have to be working hard down the stretch. The Cincinnati Bengals. They just have not started well at all the last few seasons.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things where you got a strong dose of a guy who needs reps, but also is very, very important to the team. So it's like you don't want this guy to get hurt, but he needs the reps, and he's not going to get the reps that he needs in practice. He's got to go out there with the assumption that he is going to get hit, because obviously anybody can walk into a gym. If you're a basketball player, you can walk in a gym and shoot, and no one's trying to block your shot. If you're a quarterback, if you're not able to throw when no one's coming after you, it's a big problem. That's why pro days in the combine have, the little bit of weight that they do have, because it is a red flag. In Justin Fields' case, I believe he should be out there. I think maybe if he didn't dislocate his toe earlier this training camp, maybe they would be less frightened of him being out there. But I would be, I'm sure he'll get out there at some point. I don't think he's earned the right to not play in any of the games.
Yeah, and it might be even a Justin Field with some backups on the outside. The extension they just handed to Garrett Wilson. But I think that that's interesting because we talk about the opportunity, but then it doesn't feel like Joe Burrow and company be out there. But some people are saying maybe a little bit more. At some point, you look at like Joe Burrow and you go, it's not the preseason, man. It's just you guys just have to be better. Like there's no questions left. It's Burrow, Jamar Chase, Higgins, Chase Brown. Like, that's fine offensively. Now, what are they going to be defensively? That's the bigger question. A team like Cincinnati, the slow starts isn't necessarily that Joe Burrow and company need to play more preseason football. Is Trey Hendrickson going to be locked in? And then so you get Shamar Stewart, who you drafted in the first round, went through that contract stuff. Well, you got that figured out. He's in. Trey Hendrickson has been one of the best sack producers in the NFL over the last few years. Is he going to be in? Because Cincinnati, it's defensively. There's zero questions who they are offensively. Joe Burrow, led the NFL in passing yards last year, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, was in the MVP conversation just because of his offensive performance with that team, despite their record, where we were talking to Joe Burrow, same likes as Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson when it came to the MVP discussion. At some point in time with Cincinnati, it's like you just got to look in the mirror, right? That's not about preseason football. It's just playmaking early in the season. But that's the question that a lot of these coaches are trying to answer right now. And I think you're right on with Justin Fields. Like, he's a guy that, you should be fine with a few more reps in the preseason than other players. And that's why, yes, it's preseason football. It can absolutely, at times just be like, oh, but it's fascinating to me because there are still so many decisions that are made.
Yeah. If you are someone who's, if you're a football fan and you just want to turn on the TV screen to see some, good football and the names you've been hearing about all week, then I can understand why preseason's not your deal. But if you have been invested in the progression of a team, who's going to start, what rookies are making a name for themselves, what second year, third year players, who coming up on a contract year, and it's their turn to compete for a starting spot, and they're going against, maybe a first-round draft pick the team just got. There's a lot of stuff. If you really want to get interested in the preseason, there's a lot of little nuggets for you to look at, And, of course, the Cleveland Browns are throwing us an easy bone with Shedeur Sanders starting. But as we're talking about now, there's a lot of other players that still have stuff to prove.
There is. And these are the storylines that will pop from Shedeur Sanders to Justin Fields to the Bengals. Is it playing more preseason football going to help them get off to a better start this season? 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. And don't forget, the Sports Animal Birthday Bash is back. Our 31st Sports Animal Birthday Bash is coming up Saturday, August 23rd from 12 to 4 at Ex Novo Brewing. Ex Novo Brewing Company, 701 Central Avenue Northwest. Of course, all your favorite sports animal personalities out there and much more, including free limited edition t-shirts, food and drink specials. You can check out the sportsanimalabq.com for more details. But we will see you Saturday, August 23rd, 12 to 4 at Ex Novo Brewing for the Sports Animals 31st annual birthday bash. We come back on the other side. Brian Urlacher bashed plenty of people on the field. The Lobo was back in town. The NFL Hall of Famer talked with the team, watched practice. What was his message to the Lobos? And then also, as a fan of the program. What does he want to see from Lobo football? You hear that next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Win tickets to see Lainey Wilson in concert.
We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with the fire.
Practice camp continues. Tuesday's practice for Lobo football. And an NFL Hall of Famer in attendance, Lobo legend Brian Urlacher. Spoke with the team on Monday night, watched practice yesterday, and spoke with the media. So we had a chance to ask Urlacher a few questions and get his thoughts on connecting with Jason Eck, first-year head coach for Lobo football, and his expectations for the program. And when you think about the greats across the board for Lobo athletics, it's Brian Urlacher, not just what he did in the NFL, with what he did on the field as a Lobo. And that message resonates, especially with this era of player who look up and you see him everywhere. Going to that practice facility, you see all the All-Americans, and Brian Urlacher is up there. But they were also getting into a generation where I don't remember Brian Urlacher on the field all that much. the reality of it.
Yeah, I know he was pretty much, so anywhere in Illinois, there's a time, actually during his era, I was at one point living a couple hours away from Chicago, and then I went to live actually in the suburbs of Chicago when he was there. He was pretty much, he was Jesus to Chicago Bears fans. You saw Urlacher jerseys everywhere. He was the Mahomes only of the defense. He was, honestly, since then, I can't think of too many people that have been viewed to be the face of a team, carry a team that played middle linebacker like that. There's not too many since him.
It was an interesting era. When you look at Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis.
Yeah. He competed in an era when the linebackers were at
they were taking dudes' heads off.
Yeah. He's probably one of the reasons why he had to stop.
Yeah.
And also when I met him, or you just see him in person, this guy is still huge. And I think to myself, I'm like, the fact that this guy played middle linebacker at this size is crazy.
He can move, man. And he was returning kicks. He's playing every spot on the field at UNM.
He's returning kicks.
Yeah.
Insane.
You want to speak about freak athletes. That's Brian Urlacher. And just tearing people up out there at University Stadium. And, of course, what he went on to do with the Chicago Bears and become an NFL Hall of Famer. And when you have those guys, yeah, Brian Urlacher, easy, right? NFL Hall of Famer, great. But you look up at the wall, there's so many alumni that have contributed to Lobo athletics. There was another player out there, yes, not the level of Brian Urlacher, but it was great to see Elijah Lilly back at camp, and he's back in town working in high school football, and he was a standout kick returner, really explosive player in his time. But again, it's an alumni of a different level, but was back at practice and looking at things and seeing where the program is coming this point in time. But of course, Urlacher, it hits differently, and there's a buzz. And for Brian Urlacher, I spoke with the team the night before, watched practice, and I asked Brian, all right, when these coaches call you, right, and you've been through plenty of coaches at the University of New Mexico, what is it that you tell them about Lobo football?
Well, for me, it was an opportunity, because it was the only opportunity I had to play football. No one else gave me a scholarship, so it was a huge opportunity, and it really molded my life. It gave me a chance to play professional football, came to a great school for 4 years, made some great friends, but there's no opportunity that other kids are going to have that they aren't going to have here. They can do anything they want to do. The weight room is great. The coaches are great. The facilities are great. They can do anything they want to if they put the work in and the time in. They have the same opportunities every other kid has in the country, no matter what school you go to. That was it. Just the opportunity is there for you to take advantage of it.
Now, too, looking back at your program, what do you want to see from Lobo football when you watch it?
Competition. I'm a big fan of competition. The wins are going to happen, I think, eventually. It's just I want to see them competing. I don't like it when they get out. When a game gets out of hand, whether it's good or bad, our way or the other way, I like to see guys compete. That's all I really care about. I told my son that no matter what the situation is, go out there, compete, practice, games, whatever it is, compete, man.
Competition. That's what he wants to see. Keep your head up, finish strong. But how did his connection with Coach Eck come about? Brian talked about being welcomed back to Lobo football.
We've talked quite a bit. Via text message and phone calls. Man, he's been great. I like that he leans on me and asks me questions and stuff like that. I appreciate that. We're the same age, so it's not like I'm looking up to him and like, hey, appreciate you reaching out. But it's cool. I think he understands some of the alumni. It's good to have them around, so it was nice of him to ask me to come back. I appreciate it.
It's always nice to feel welcomed, and of course that's a player you want back as much as possible to be around your program and have these moments. And it's a new era. Brian, this was his opportunity. Came to the University of New Mexico, balled out, spent his career here, and became a first-round draft pick. And times have changed because you can ball out and go somewhere else. Devin Dampier, quarterback for Utah. As Utes are thinking, hey, how can we get to the college football playoff? Other players been successful at UNM and gone on to be all-conference players at a power conference. It's the way it is. And how does Urlacher feel about college football in 2025?
So it's frustrating to see players come here and do really well and then leave. I can't stand it. It's like a stepping stone to get seen. I get it. I understand. I know the landscape of college football is different right now, but you come here, and last year I had with a couple guys, and they earned it. I understand they want to go on, and it's hard to say no that type of money when you're going somewhere to a big school like that. You're going to get to play. They're paying you money. Sometimes you got to go. I get it. I don't like it. But college football is different now. After every season, you got to recruit your players again. They're free agents after every season. So that's just the landscape of football right now.
We're talking about the re-recruitment, and Jose, you brought up, hey, is there a way maybe you work in Brian Urlacher more when it comes to that? And yeah, that's a possibility, I think, in terms of, you can always have like an honorary general manager. Because I look at what we saw the other day, and Damian Lillard is a GM for Weber State basketball. Well, he's not going to be involved heavily in the day-to-day process, but he can add his expertise. He can add things, just name value, right? Trey Young doing the same thing with the Sooners. Like, well, yeah, Trey Young's point guard of Atlanta Hawks, so he's not going to be doing the day-to-day operation of that. But it's branding. It's recognition. Maybe Brian Urlacher can do something like that moving forward. Because, of course, his son is still playing college football at USC, so he's going to be focused on going to those games. But anytime you can get any of the alumni involved in that capacity, got to try to do it. So I thought that was an interesting suggestion, too, by you earlier. But just moments like yesterday, too, being around the team is good. And what was his message to the squad when we spoke with them?
My message was there's only a couple things you can control on a football field. A lot of things are going to happen bad to you out there that are out of your control. Control the things you can control. There's 3 of them. I'm not going to tell you guys, but there's 3 things you can control. Control that, have fun, be prepared, and run to the football. If you run to the football, good things happen.
Run to the football, good things happen. The defense definitely stood out with Brian Urlacher in attendance yesterday. They were causing some havoc in multiple drills, especially at the end of practice, getting to James Lobstein and Jack Lane. And the quarterback competition was, Coach Eck talked about this week, it's still open. I think it's Jack Lane's job, as long as he's healthy and his elbow is good. But he's letting those guys battle, giving Lobstein some recognition for his performance. But the D got after it. Let's see, Jackson Eck, the new linebacker from Idaho, popped. They transfer from Memphis. Brett Carew had some really good plays. He also got the hammer post-practice. And it was a defensive day. And maybe because Brian Urlacher was in attendance, those guys were fired up a little bit more. But especially, it's still early in camp. It's only the second week, but it's got to probably be a cool feeling, just a shot of adrenaline when Urlacher shows up.
Oh, yeah, and this is the sweetest time for you to get it. I mean, people don't realize it's almost like, no pun intended, it's like studying for a test. It's like if you sometimes it's nice to get that big energy boost right beforehand, but people don't realize that if you get that boost, a few weeks beforehand, you're far more prepared than you may realize. Something like this is one of those things where he's out there, especially if you're playing the same position. I mean, in your own mind, of course you want to play for your coach, and, another example could be, say, your dad's in the crowd or your mom's in the crowd, and you want to play good in front of them. But when you're playing in front of, somebody who's a Hall of Famer at the same sport, it really makes you not want to make a fool of yourself in front of them. It makes you want to impress them. You want to, get their approval. So that's something that, just like you said earlier, even something as simple as them being a part of the organization, it's a thing. When you look at the Raiders right now, for example, and you got Geno Smith over there. No, you're not expecting him to be Tom Brady, but just the fact that Tom Brady's involved, maybe in the deepest part of your mind, maybe he might be a better passer because Tom Brady's involved. Like, just the whole expectation of Brady being there, it's like, okay, the passing should be somewhat decent.
Like, rub off a little bit. You got like a Space Jam thing going.
Yeah, something.
Still a little bit of the talent. No, but yeah, if people are willing to do stuff like that, absolutely use it. And there's plenty of players. Yeah, Brian Urlacher, the biggest name across the board, nationally. But still, you walk into that practice facility, look at the side of the stadium, look at the names that are in the stadium, and there's a lot of good former Lobos that can help the team, whether or not, again, like say they're on the wall, names on the stadium or not. It was good to see the vibe and have those moments in camp. But yeah, Brian Urlacher, you're going to notice when he shows up to practice. 505-246-0610. Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. Smelling salts, thing of the past. Are you a smelling salt guy?
Never.
I've never tried it myself.
Yeah, if I'm not able to get myself psyched up, anything else, like, it just kind of overdrives me.
About, an energy drink is what I do. A pound energy drinks, like, all day long before a workout, stuff like that. But never been a smelling salt guy. And
No.
The NFL, though, they had to officially ban smelling salts. And George Kittle interrupted an interview with Fred Warner and NFL Network yesterday. He's like, this is crazy. He crashed the set to air his grievance that the NFL informed teams on Tuesday via a memo that the use of ammonia and smelling salts before and during all NFL games will be no more. And Kittle was like, man, how am I supposed to get ready? How am I supposed to boost the energy? And you get that little jolt of whatever it is.
I guess, like, I think another big problem is the camera people for NFL. You know, I know back in the day when Zeke would be still relevant, he's on the sideline, they would put the camera on him and, like, show him grab the smelling salt, show him run it across his nose, and then as soon as he was done, then they switched the camera. Like,
I wonder how much of it is that, like,
you don't want
because
to promote
you see
it.
Like, usually when a dude's got his bell rung,
yeah,
right? And you're like, he's not there, so you're like, oh, here's some smelling salts. I wonder, like, how much, like, as you're saying, like, it was the, ooh, that dude just got lit up.
Yeah.
And then it's the smelling salts to wake up. They're like, you know what? Maybe we don't want that right now.
Yeah, it's that for sure. But and then also like pregame during the national anthem, like Josh Allen too. Like during the national anthem, you're over here hitting smelling salts, and it's like there should have been enough preparation, you know, beforehand for you not to need smelling salts. Like that's what music's for. That's what getting lit with your teammates is for. Your coach will come. You know, in high school we had an offensive line coach, and his son played O-line, so he's really invested. But he would literally every single game, maybe about 20 minutes before we go walk out, he would O-line, and everyone would go walk into like a small room, and he'd pretty much just lay into us. Not like, getting angry at us, but it was like a hype, like a prep speech.
Oh, yeah, get you going.
Get us going. Things like that.
He wouldn't open up a bunch of smelling salts in the room for you guys, though?
Yeah, no. And I don't think it's a problem for the NFL players, but I think it's more so like we don't need 8th graders hitting smelling salts because they saw Josh Allen do it.
Think of the kids.
Yeah, 100%.
Think of the yaffle kids that are all hopped up on smelling salts.
Which is also then
across
parents'
parks
fault.
on Saturday mornings, just sniffing salts. An epidemic.
Before recess.
You thought bath salts was a problem. Smelling salts.
Yeah. Hit smelling salts and go on the monkey bars.
Think of the youth. Think of what you're doing to the kids. Set a better example.
Or those recess football games. Got smelling salts before recess.
I was ready to go. There's the reason I'm a recess Hall of Famer.
Like, dude, eat some candy.
The numbers are put up. Smelling salts.
Yeah.
No more in the NFL. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line. It is the opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
Fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a blaze.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque, and Santa Fe. Blaze King. And now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost.
Could it be this year where Russ gets cooking? Or something about it? Look at these veteran quarterbacks. You might have been done with them a while back. Let's get rid of them. It's Shedeur Sanders' time. It's Jackson Dart time. Yes, their time is coming. But there's something that coaches just can't quite quit with these veteran quarterbacks. Is it the presence? Is it their understanding? Is it their just day-to-day, how they handle themselves? Because you look at the New York Giants, you're like, yeah, all right, just let Jackson Dart play and go. You drafted him in the first round. You traded back up. Let Jackson Dart go. But there's something about veteran quarterbacks that NFL head coaches just can't quit.
It's about knowing what you're going to get, I feel like. Especially in the Giants case, you got Brian Dable. He might feel like he's on the hot seat.
It's when you go to the restaurant and you order the same thing over and over and over, right? You have an expectation.
Also in New York, if I'm Malik Neighbors, I would rather have Russ right now. One thing about Russ, he throws a great deep ball. He's not scared to throw that thing down there. So
you might have been reading the notes this morning on the show because that's where we're going. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Bucksay Johnson with you. And all the talk about the young quarterbacks coming up, future quarterbacks. Well, the veteran quarterbacks are still hanging on. And Malik Neighbors was insane last year. You're talking about 109 receptions, 1,200 4 yards, 7 touchdowns, and it was Tommy DeVito and you name it, playing quarterback for the New York Giants. Now, the offense, it was bad. They're 30th in yards, 31st in points, but yet Neighbors still flash like that. He was 5th in Rookie of the Year voting. Probably should have been higher, but you just look at the quarterback play last year. You had Bo Nix and Daniels, just guys popping off at the quarterback position. Neighbors is that dude. But here you go, and you just hit it. And Brian Daboll has really liked, even with Malik Neighbors, what he did last season when there was no quarterback play there. The offseason, the veteran presence that has been Russell Wilson, Brian Daboll has praised Wilson. He said, quote, they have a good relationship. They spend a lot of time in the meeting room, and then they spend time outside in terms of body maintenance on how Russ takes care of his body, the things he's done to have a long career. And I think he's made strides from year 1 to year 2 in a lot of areas, talking about Malik Neighbors. And that right there is why you have these guys around. Now, is Joe Flacco the future for the Cleveland Browns? No. But I think having Joe Flacco in that room with Shedeur Sanders is great right now.
Yeah.
Just say, this is what you do day to day. Like, that is a dude that won a Super Bowl championship. That is a dude that had one of the best postseason runs you're going to see. When Flacco just went nuclear with the Ravens. And you might be like, really, what is Joe Flacco going to help Shedeur Sanders with? It's this stuff, man. It's just the day-to-day. And it's that mental game. And you talked about it earlier when we were talking about coaches, right? Just kind of commanding respect. And that's what you want your quarterback to do, is just have that vibe. Just show up, be a veteran. You saw Shedeur already hit with 2 speeding tickets in the offseason. But it's like, hey, just lock in, do your job. And that's the reason why Russell Wilson is still sticking around. The future is Jackson Dart. We understand that. But Russell Wilson being there, not can just help Jackson Dart, can help your next franchise player too, and Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, and not to segue back into, the Joe Flacco Shedeur situation, but Flacco did say one thing, and I don't think Russ goes about business this way, but I do remember Flacco, not that he's not, of course, willing to help out in any way he can, but I do remember him specifically saying when a guy asked him, I'm sure you remember this too, and they're like, how do you look forward to, like mentoring or helping out the younger quarterbacks? And he's like, I'm not here to be a mentor. I'm here to win a starting. Like, I'm trying to win the quarterback job here. And I hope that it's one of those things where, like, he's being a natural competitor, but then he's also willing to help out. I don't want him to be pulling an Aaron Rodgers, which I guess I hear that he, like, wasn't helping out Jordan Love. I don't know what the rumors were with that, but I heard that he could have been a better mentor to Jordan Love. But I don't know. I don't think Russ is that kind of quarterback. But, historically you hear about Russ that he's, like, very isolated. He's not the most team-oriented guy, which kind of contradicts from what you normally see from him. He's always saying, go Hawks, or go whatever team he's on. He's go this, go this, go this. But then you hear that it's like people can't even contact him. You can't even send him a text message. So I would imagine that maybe at practice he's helping out, but I don't know how much Russ...
Well, I think you're onto something, which is interesting, right? Because it's hard to say that, Shedeur Sanders should hold this grudge against everyone. But then look at someone else and be like, well, you need to lay out the red carpet for a rookie, right? Like Joe Flacco, you can't have this mindset. So I'm not saying, but I'm saying, like, that's what you have to navigate in the locker room. So, like, that's why having a veteran with the young guy, like, it makes sense in so many of these situations, because you're all competitors. You've been there, man. You've been in those rooms where, yeah, you work together, but you're still trying to get your own. Yeah. And even in a team sport, like, you are trying to get your own because you want your spot to matter. And I do think it's, I don't think too critically of Joe Flacco over being like, hey, I'm still out here, man. I'm here to, I want to be a starting quarterback. And because, the fact that he's back to being at that level and had the opportunity, I'm sure he never thought that was coming back to him.
Yeah, and it's like, what else are you there for if you're not trying to start? What
and
are they paying you for?
And I think that at that level, like, I think that's not something maybe Shedeur would take personally. I think because if you're in the meeting room, right, what are you doing? You guys are all watching film, and maybe it's not directly, like, it's not Joe Flacco, like, going, oh, here's my process A to B, but you see it, right? It's like you're there, you're consuming it, and like, oh, maybe I didn't see this with the defense or watching film. And I think with any industry, right, whether it's what you're doing at work and there's someone you're like, oh, man, I want to get to this level, you see things, and it's not necessarily spoon-fed to you, but there's still that natural competition versus, a lot of times, man, even in a team sport, you got to take it on yourself as an individual.
Yeah, and speaking on taking things like personal a little bit, as far as Joe Flacco, I don't think he's putting too much weight into this. But remember, because it wasn't Shador, it was his dad. But do remember that little part of Shador's little draft party when Deion's like, "Who Cleveland got? They got," and then Shador's like, "They got Joe Flacco," and he Deion kind of cracks a joke. That is not going to help Joe Flacco want to be just 100% mentor. And I think out of him being a good teammate, he will be. But I don't know if that bothered Joe. I'm sure he may have laughed it off. A lot of times people in Joe's position will be the first people to tell you that they're old.
No, I've done a 180 on Joe Flacco, and I've been one of those dudes. Yeah, I've clowned him in the past. But then I see the value of a veteran quarterback. Like I do think when you have a young guy that you're invested in, you do just got to let him get out there and play. But, in this case, there's question marks, right? Did Shador slide because of talent, or was it a little bit of everything? I think it was a little bit of everything. But now the opportunity is there. All right, Kevin Stefanski in that team, and it's kind of what you said. There's a trust there. They say, hey, we know what we're getting with Joe Flacco. But someone like Shador Sanders, that door opens up. This preseason game Friday night, go from QB4 to QB2, and then QB1 is right there. We shall see. I want to thank Michael Lombardi for joining us this morning, the general manager for the North Carolina Tar Heels, but 3-time Super Bowl winning executive. His book, Football Done Right, is out now. Got Colin Cowherd coming up next. Jim Rome Show at 1. We got an Isotopes doubleheader today. 4:05 first pitch for you right here on the Sports Animals. Hey, great stuff, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Adrian on ProView Network. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Everybody, Meta World Peace and Love. Have a great day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.